Eileo guys, and welcome back. So as we all know, Mona has had a lot of changes since the last time I reviewed her. So let's go ahead and see what Mona has going on here. And if you are new to the game, this is definitely one video I at least will hope that you watch. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so starting off here, I just wanted to hit the most important points before we dive into any further analysis of these Astromon. So I'm starting off here with the water one, because usually I do from like fire, which is just from left to right, or I do from dark to fire. But I really want to bring up the importance of Mona here, water Mona, especially for any newer players that have just picked up the game and hopefully found this video. But anyways, we have water Mona here, who's an attacker type. She's coming in with 25k HP, 2.8k attack, and then 2k defense. She is a nat 3, which we can commonly find in Pagos Coast, so make sure you're farming Pagos Coast only to encounter your Monas here. And then let's take a look at her skills. Stat wise, her attack is perfectly fine as an attacker. It's almost 3k. Her HP is pretty average. Defense is a bit subpar, but considering that she's a nat 3, it all makes sense. But her skills are morale boost, which grants 100% chance to restore 20% of her own SP when attacking, and then her defense down is 50% chance for 2 turns. Now without books, this is an absolute joke. This is absolutely terrible. But with books, this is going to be super good. She also has a super evolution. All of the Monas do. I'm not saying that you have to super evolve your water one, but with the new setup into the game, basically what the game is telling you as you begin MSL is you want to get a water Mona to Evo 3. Now let me clarify. I will show you this after we take a look at her skill books, but let me clarify what you should do after you get your water Mona to Evo 3. So with morale boost though, she gets a 20% damage boost, and that goes up to 25%, which is obviously better. And with that attack stat, her SP gain shouldn't be terrible at all, just for the simple fact that she's going to be dealing out some damage to hopefully get the SP bar full. And then we can see over here with her books that her defense down stays at 2 turns, but it goes to 70%, which is a lot better than 50. And it gets a 15% damage increase as well. Combine that with Super Ascension and then also her Super Evolution, and her stats are going to be, you know, quite a bit better. But Water Mona especially is a good cornerstone for MSL, and I'm happy that the developers have now brought a bigger focus to her. Because there's a trap that a lot of new players fall into where they totally don't understand the importance of water Mona. So let's go over here real quick. And with this special mission with Mona, you guys, if you just began the game, what you want to do here is obviously you want to farm out Monas on Pagos Coast, and you're going to get 3 Evo 2 Monas. And then by the time that you get your 3rd Evo 2 Mona, you should have plenty of Monas to Evo 3 your Mona. So you're going to Evo 3 that water Mona, okay? Keep that water Mona at Evo 3. Use these water Monas to Evo 3 whatever water Mona that you have, preferably with 1 of each slots in my opinion. You don't have to do triple square. I would prefer 1 of each slot. If not, I would prefer like square, triangle, square, or something of that nature. But you know, you don't have to follow triple square master race. It's up to you. But farm these out. Get your water Mona to Evo 3. Work on getting her to 60, and then as you progress further in the game, which I'm going to review next, is Dark Mona, who then, hopefully after you've been farming Pagos Coast to level up your water Mona, you've stockpiled 15 other water Monas to help feed into your Dark Mona. So I really wanted to bring that up because a big issue here was players would begin the game, and even though guides and even myself would say that you need water Monas to kind of progress, which is what you do so you can hit Gold's V8, so you can then start farming out gold and gymming up your Mons, they would end up feeding their Dark Mona to water Mona. And I'm not sure if you're able to do that still, but that's not something that I recommend at all, because a lot of players make that mistake, which now brings me over here to Dark Mona, and let's focus on her real quick. Alright, so coming up next though, we have Dark Mona, who's also an attacker type. She's coming in with 28k HP, 3.4k attack, and then 2k defense. Her HP stat is great as an attacker. Anything above 25k in my opinion is pretty decent, and it's almost hitting that 30k range, which is like Balance Mon type status. Her attack stat is wonderful because it's over 3k. That's always nice. 2k defense, which is just the same as water Mona. Not a big deal there, just don't get hit. She does have access to her Super Evolution and Super Ascension. And then let's take a look at her skills. So she has morale boost just like Water Mona, but her morale boost is 30% versus 20%. And then she has Hunter, which increases her critical hit damage by 30%. If you're new to the game, basically what Hunter does is if you crit, your crit damage is increased by 30%. So there's also this whole thing with having a Dark Mon, which this is something unique only to Dark Mons, is that Dark Mons naturally have 50% more crit damage than any other element in the game. So with that unbooked, she's getting an added 80% crit damage to her move just from doing Hunter, which it doesn't seem like a lot, that little 30%, but her being already a dark type, her already having a high attack stat is really, really good. So while Water Mona is more of a debuffer type mon because of her morale boost and defense down, this is pure damage. Like, this is a super duper great wave clearer that, especially if you began the game, do not feed her. If you feed her, you might as well go ahead and delete your account and redo it. This is easy. This is easily a mon that could take you from the beginning of the game to mid game and almost until late game. Like, it's that easy. And we can see here with books that her morale boost doesn't get any percentage increase for its effect, but it does increase her damage by 25% for that morale boost. And then Hunter gets a 25% damage increase as well, but it goes to 40%. So it's not 50, but we're talking about a nat 4 that they've given you for free. I just want to clarify: do not feed your Dark Mona to a Water Mona, to Evo 3 Water Mona. Dark Mona is hard to get. She's only obtainable if they give you her in the game, or from a Rebirth Festival, or from a High and Light Dark Egg, which your chances of getting even a nat 4 from one of those eggs is very, very bad. Do not feed your Dark Mona to Water Mona. Use the Water Monas that we get from what they had just added with her quest. Get her to Evo 3. Farm out 15 more Water Monas and feed her into Dark Mona, because Dark Mona is going to take place of your Water Mona in the future. And not to mention, Dark Mona is usable in all of the golems, all of them. I mean, you could debate with what B11, but you can use her in B7, you can use her in B8, you can use her in B9, and you should be able to use her in B10 as well. She can also serve as a wave clearer in the story to help you clear out stages if you're leveling mons. Do not feed Dark Mona, and I don't apologize for this rant at all because it is important information. Alright, moving on. Next though, we have Fire Mona, who's a tank type. She's coming in with 42k HP, 1.4k attack, and then 1.8k defense. She's a nat 3. I was about to get mean with her, but she is a nat 3. I'm just baffled by how bad her, not even her attack because she's a tank, but her defense stat is just gag me with a machete, dude. That is not super duper great. But obviously tank types, their main selling point is to have a whole bunch of HP, but oh my goodness, dude, not even 2k defense. Why does she have less defense than the attackers? Weird champ. But anyways, Fire Mona comes in with SP Siphon, which basically grants her a 20% siphoning of the enemy's SP. So what SP Siphon does is basically steal the enemy's SP. You don't take it, it just makes that SP that they have void. So that prevents them from acting, which is a form of crowd control because it can prevent them from getting their 5-star skill off. And then we can see with her 5-star skill, she has attack down, which grants a 60% chance to reduce the enemy's attack for 2 turns, not 2 turn. But essentially, her goal here is to hopefully be as annoying as possible, prevent the enemy from acting, and if they can act, or if they're not foolish enough to kill her, she can also hit them with a decent probability with her attack down to help nerf their damage and hopefully give your team victory. But we can see over here with books that she gets a 20% damage increase for her SP Siphon, and it goes to 30%. And then for her attack down, it also gets a 20% damage increase, and then it goes to 80% for 2 turns. Now this isn't bad at all, especially her books. It's just that her stats are a little bit lackluster in my opinion, and if you really enjoy Mona, or Fire Mona in general, feel free to super evolve her and super ascend her, but I don't recommend that. I don't. I mean, if you need a crowd control mon, don't get me wrong. If you need a mon with SP Siphon, use her. But even with the Nat 3 League buffs, there's just obviously a lot better choices that you could use. But, you know, it is what it is. Alright, coming in next though, we have Woodmona, who's a defender type. She's coming in with nearly 28k HP, 1.5k attack, and then 2.5k defense. Nat 3, her stats are fine. I mean, I could complain all I want, but it's not going to change anything. Yeah, her stats are fine. She's a defender. Defenders, obviously, as her name implies, means that she should have a lot of defense, hopefully. And having a decent amount of HP is always good as well. But let's take a look at her skills real quick. So she has Adrenaline, which grants a 100% chance to restore 20% of her own HP when attacking. So she has some self-sustain probabilities to her. And then for her 5-star skill, she has Fearless Taunt, which reduces damage received by 50% for 1 turn. And then it grants an 80% chance to draw enemies' attention for 1 turn. So when this move goes off, obviously, if someone tries to attack her, she's going to have this shield up, which helps reduce damage to her, making her more tanky and annoying. And then if she can get the attention of the enemies, well, for 1 turn, they're going to attack her again. But Fearless Taunt should still be up, so she's going to mitigate damage. And then obviously with the Adrenaline, she's going to be able to heal herself. In theory, that should work out here. So with books, her Adrenaline gets a 20% damage increase. Doesn't really matter because with a 1.5k attack stat, that attack is just anemic, but it also goes up to 25%, which is pretty chunky, even though her HP pool isn't that big. It's pretty chunky. And then her Fearless Taunt, which is her 5-star skill, it gets a 25% damage increase, and then that goes up to 90% for 1 turn. Once again, not bad at all, especially for Nat 3. This is slightly more appealing to me in terms of like a defensive mon than Fire Mona, but I mean, it's nothing super duper extravagant. I mean, the biggest difference between her though is that defense stat. Like, she literally has like what, 700 more defense. I know she has a lot less HP, but there's a certain point where you can have all this HP, but if your defense is just dirt nasty low, it doesn't matter how much HP that you have because it's just going to get shredded, in my opinion. Like, an important balance is always needed. Obviously, she's in that 3. You can super evo super evo her if you want, super send her enhancements, the whole 9 yards if you want, but it's definitely not recommended unless you have some type of pogger, awesome big brain gem setup for her just for the Nat 3 league. Alright, and to go ahead and end this all, you guys, we have Light Mona here, who's also a defender type. She's coming in with 30k HP, 2.5k attack, and then 3.2k defense. She literally has like 1k more attack than the other defenders. But why? Why? But she recently had gotten a nice change to her, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. So she has Battle Rush, which restores 20% of her own HP and SP every turn that her 3-star skill is available to do. So not only does she have self-sustaining probabilities to her, but she can also generate SP. Now, I will tell you that, at least in my opinion, I do prefer Morale Boost over Battle Rush, because Battle Rush is nice having your HP restored, but I don't really need HP if my SP bar is getting full the next turn and I'm destroying everything. So, it's not the end of the world, but she does have Battle Rush, which gives her some survivability and helps her lead into her 5-star skill, which we can see is Defense Aggression. Now, once again, assuming if you're new to the game, there are 2 versions of aggressors in the game, which is Defense Aggressors and then HP Aggressors. So, in this case, because she's a Defense Aggressor, after you read from her move, attack power becomes proportional to own max defense. That should automatically click in your mind. Okay, she should either be triple defense, because all of her damage scales from her defense, and her having naturally high defense plus even more defense is just going to make her super duper tanky, especially even though she only has 30k HP. Battle Rush is here to heal her. I can get HP subs from my gems. I can get HP subs from enhancements, Super Ascension, making sure that she's super evolved as well helps raise up her HP, but she's going to have dirt nasty, just high defense. That's something that should spark in your mind, hopefully, if you read that. Same thing with HP Aggression. Obviously, their damage and survivability mostly is going to scale off of that aggression stat, and by mostly, I mean all of it. So, if you see an aggressor and it says defense or HP aggressor, just automatically put either, you can do crit rate defense, or you can do triple defense. I personally recommend triple defense though. I don't like crit rate on any of my freaking aggressors, but that's just me. Crit damage, I mean, crit rate is nice to get some more damage out of them in the exchange for some survivability, but it's really up to you and how you plan to use them. So keep that in mind. And then with books over here, we can see that Battle Rush gets a 20% damage increase, and then it goes to 25% for both her HP and SP, and then her defense aggression gets a nice 40% damage increase for that 5-star skill. Now, assuming that she's going to be on triple defense, super evoed, enhancements, obviously super extended as well. I'm not going to say that she's going to be able to do like a lot of damage, but she's a lot more usable than what she was before, in my opinion. So I think that's a really good change. Obviously more of a kind of defense based mon, or a mon where you do need a light aggressor, which, I mean, you could run her in B10, but if you have access to Dark Mona, especially as a beginner, I don't really see the need, because you should be running B10 with hopefully a Sapper or 2 by now, and then your Dark Mona, and you can even throw in your Water Mona for the time being, even though I'm kind of simplifying things. But I have other videos on the golems. I just wanted to stress to you guys the whole Mona situation. But what you guys like to have at the end of the video is basically one man's opinion on the best Monas. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to you guys straight. So best Mona, hands down, Dark Mona. She's the best Mona. That's just how it is. The second Mona is obviously Water, just because her versatility and her use from beginning to mid game. Now there's some players that still use her at end game, but she's gonna drop off, at least in my opinion, far sooner than Dark Mona, far sooner. So I mean, you could debate that Water and Light Mona at this point in time are pretty much equally, but it really just depends on what content that you're doing. Then obviously after that, I would say Wood Mona and then Fire Mona. So I will say Dark Mona, Water Mona, Light Mona, Wood Mona, and then Fire Mona, and hopefully that helps clears up any issues that you have. If you guys haven't considered already, make sure you subscribe to help out on your MSO journey. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. Thank you guys so much for watching, and yep, see ya.